What are the changes in social welfare services and schemes? Since the 70s and 80s, assistance and relief benefits distributed to the poor, the disabled, widows, etc., tend to be turned into means-tested minimum income benefits. The minimum income benefits represent an hybridization between social insurance and social welfare. They target 8 categories of situation, and they are financed by the general budget. One of the most significant minimum income benefits was established in 1988. In the midst of a dramatic crisis of unemployment, the state created a minimum income aimed at social and employment integration. There was the RMI, the Revenu Minimum d'Insertion in French. It is served to unemployed and non-active persons about 25 years old and below a certain income. Universalization is reached through a combination of contributory social insurance and fiscal-based minimum income benefits. For example, universal health insurance, couverture maladie universelle in French, provides the same protection to the non-working poor and contributing workers. The new scheme provides an income guarantees on a relatively long-term basis. One can conclude to a growing hybridization of protection scheme. On one hand, social security benefits are financed more and more by the general budget and earmarked taxes. One could say that the previous statutory and contributory Bismarckian system tends to become more beneficial. On the other hand, the beneficiaries are less distinguished according to their employment and labor force status, and more considered as citizens enjoying social rights. Some persons, nevertheless, remain on the margin of the social protection system, such as asylum seekers and undocumented migrants. Since 2009, the active solidarity income, revenu de solidarité active in French, replaces the RMI. It provides benefits to poor employed persons, to poor non-labor force members, but also to working poor. It allows the beneficiaries to combine welfare benefits and labor income. It smoothens the threshold effect on the previous minimum income when an unemployed person finds a low-income job. Coupled with active labor market integration measures and controls. It is funded by the general budget. However, it only covers a small share of under 25 years old at very restrictive conditions. It does not redress the tilt of labor integration and training schemes. It acknowledges the fact that labor income is not the sole source of revenue for workers. There is the issue of minimum wage, of worker welfare, etc. It is mainly funded through middle-class solidarity with income tax structures. Towards the universalization of effective social rights. More generally, then, there is a debate in France around whether or not the trend of transformation of the social protection system is leading toward a universalization of effective social rights. Certainly, it is toward universalization. since more and more categories of workers and non-workers, or unemployed, irregular, and part-time workers are being integrated in a corresponding scheme. This trend reflects a general criticism and growing awareness of the need to overcome such problems as pernicious effect of targeted and conditional assistance benefits, administrative costs of entry into the scheme and of value controls, eligibility, behavior, and benefit uses, persistent non-take-up, stigmatization and social fragmentation. However, the trend towards universalization remains hindered by the existence of restrictive conditions and multiple requirements to enter minimum income schemes, and the fact that it only concerns certain social groups according to age, residency, legal status, family income. Some other social groups thus remain excluded from or on the margin of these schemes. Beyond the issue of universalization of effective social rights, some issues remain pending, both politically and technically. Our first technical issue concerns the social unit with being addressed by these schemes and more generally by social policy. Is either individual or the family or household. The French tradition and social history always preferred addressing the family or the household over the strict individual. A second derived issue concerns the status of the beneficiary. Is he or she included by virtue of his or her being a citizen or targeted belonging to one of the narrowly defined categories, such as a poor, a disabled, a child, a mother, and an old person. A third question concerns the type of right or mode of access to the benefits. Are they conditional or unconditional? Are they supposed to compensate for the previous occurrence of a risk, such as the loss of income, employment, etc., or to provide means to prevent poverty to occur, such as capacity building, training and skill acquisition, empowerment, etc. A future issue deals with the institutional welfare mix. Who are the social security providers and how do they combine? The French social protection system was on the whole rather state-central, but it increasingly becoming more decentralized and externalized. Local administration, civil society organizations, and private firms are playing a growing role in the distribution of and provision of social security benefits and services. A parallel issue has to do with the sources of funding. What are the respective shares of social contribution or general taxes? To which extent are they based on labor income or on other income as well? How progressive or equitable are they?